Well, today is National Farmers Day, and a new documentary is out highlighting the benefits of regenerative agriculture. It's called Common Ground, and it also sounds the alarm about some harmful practices in the American food system. Sarah Peel is here with more. This is your passion. You're on this story from day one.
Absolutely. And you know what? The magic of something like regenerative agriculture and the name Common Ground is that it can bring people together to find common ground in our food system. So Common Ground is the follow-up documentary to Kiss the Ground that came out 3 years ago that really put regenerative agriculture on the map. Now Common Ground goes deeper into the history of industrial agriculture and emphasizes why regenerative farming is the solution to our health, farmer well-being, and the climate crisis. Take a look.
What I'm about to tell you is a matter of life and death. If the soil dies, we die.
The facts have been proven. Roundup does cause cancer.
If you burrow deeply enough, there is a pipeline of money from the pesticide industry into those universities. They're getting the kind of science that money can buy.
Nature is the mother of us all. And if mama ain't happy, we're f***ed.
But there's a way to save our precious soils. It's called regeneration.
Now, the film outlines the link between traditional farm practices and their adverse effects on the farmers who grow our food and those who eat it. But it also highlights farmers across America who have transitioned to regenerative agriculture, which focuses on soil health and farming in harmony with nature. And it shows how they have become successful in doing so. I spoke with Rick Clark, who is one of the featured farmers in the film. And now Rick is a fifth-generation farmer from Western Indiana who adopted regenerative agriculture practices after experiencing erosion due to a 1-inch rain event. His farm of over 7,000 acres is now all organic, regenerative, and no-till. And he was also invited to speak in front of Congress in a hearing dedicated solely to this topic to talk about its economic impact.
We can farm this way. Will our farming style win yield contests? No, never will. But I don't care to win a yield contest. This is not about yield. This is about maximizing the return on investment per acre and building human health.
Now, while the documentary is solutions-focused, it doesn't hold back on the darker side of agriculture in the U.S. It follows the plight of families and farmers who have lived through tragedy like debt and suicide and illnesses linked to autoimmune diseases and cancer thought to have been brought on by chemicals used on crops. But filmmaker Josh Tickle believes in the power of regenerative agriculture and says the crew is determined to make every resource available for farmers to adopt this practice if they want to.
I want them to know that there is a way for farmers to be debt-free and for farmers to be not just our food heroes, but our climate heroes. And I want them to know that while the transition may pose some challenges, the benefit on the flip side of that transition for those farmers, their communities, and their families is infinitely greater than what they're doing today.
Now, this independent film is screening across Southern California, and your support is how this film can gain momentum and create change. You see a list on your screen, and tonight you can catch Common Ground, which will be shown in Santa Monica at the Lemley-Monica Film Center. Tonight was supposed to be the last night that it was screened there, but because of popular demand, the Lemley is actually keeping it until the 19th.
Good. I'm so struck by what the farmers face, trying to make this transition. It's not easy. You do what you do for so many generations, and bam. And I was stunned to hear that the suicide rate is so high amongst farmers.
That's right. I was stunned to hear it too. So it's estimated that about the rate of suicide among farmers is about 3.5 times higher than the general population. And it often, farmers are very prideful. We are talking generations that they have owned land. It's big in their family. They don't want to talk about all the stresses. Debt is a huge issue, which is why when you heard Rick Clark say, this is a way we can get a return on investment, it's important for them. Taking on that debt as a burden. We are seeing wars in our world right now that could have impacts on our food supply. It's a lot of stresses to take in, extreme weather being another one. Will their crops make it or not? So it's a lot that they have to shoulder the burden on top of feeding and also clothing this entire population. So it is something that hasn't been talked about. I'm glad that they do focus on it.
Trying to make the transition to a more sustainable future. It's
That's
not
right.
easy. They need our support.
Yeah.
So everyone should go out and see this new documentary.
And Common Ground is dedicated to getting those resources to farmers and to get millions of acres of farmland transitioned to regenerative.
So important. Thank you so much, as always. Appreciate your coverage. All right. Serving up